Nick over here. The guy laughing is Dustin over there. Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. Before we get into it, gonna give you a quick little tip. And even before that, I might be trading Dez to Dustin. Might just worked out a trade.
I'm wheeling and dealing.
It's breaking my heart to give up my boy Dez though. I love him. I know he's a pain. It's a blockbuster either way. Who cares about my team? What you care about is your team. So what we're talking about, hopefully you're looking good and hopefully you're looking like you might be making the playoffs and hopefully doing some damage in there. So just wanted to go over a couple of strategies. Once the buys are over, first of all, it's great to start handcuffing your studs. You know, instead of having kind of an okay wide receiver on your bench, like a Wright, something like that, then might have some outside, probably won't see your lineup. Maybe handcuff your studs, and then a couple of defensive things to think about is, for instance, a team like Carolina. It's a great defense that I really like right now, but they play New Orleans twice during the playoffs. A team like the Jets, that's kind of owned. They have Oakland, Carolina, the Browns, so those are a little bit better matchups. And then Dustin had another good point about which team?
Kansas City defense.
And they have
their bye this week. Then they play Denver, San Diego, Denver, Washington, Oakland, which is nice, but then Indy. So, at this point with where they are and the point totals and everything, that might be even a defense that you can get trade value for right now. Hopefully they won't look at the upcoming schedule. But one of the biggest things about this tip is now's the time to really be paying a lot of attention to the upcoming schedule. Any type of trade you're doing, even any type of pickup that you're doing.
We just did
that. Take a look at the upcoming schedule. It's huge right now. I mean, a team like Kansas City's defense playing Denver twice in 3 weeks. If you need to make the playoffs, that's not the defense.
And you're throwing a San Diego and a bye this week?
It's a little rough.
And like I said, I think you get some decent value for them. All right, so let's get into the forums you guys are getting. Where are they at? Cozies.
Yes.
First one's Kaepernick kicking. Hashtag Kaepernick kicking. Kind of like that name. He's got a trade question for you, Dustin. AJ Green and Ray Rice, or Eric Decker and Fred Jackson. What side do you want to be on?
Right now, the community is just a little bit more on the AJ Green, Ray Rice side of things. And I picked this one to be on here just because how low do you really put Ray Rice at this point? I mean, you got to have him pretty low, but I'm not ready to give up on him for this type of trade yet. I mean, obviously, Decker's having an amazing year, but I still think most people would put AJ Green over Decker. And then Ray Rice and Jackson, with Spiller playing better, Fred Jackson being an old man, I think I would still rather just roll a dice on Ray Rice turning things around. So I wanted to talk about it as far as how low is too low for Ray Rice. This is not quite a...
And just think if after your draft all those months ago, somebody sent this trade...
You'd slap him in the face.
He hated. It's crazy. What a season brings.
It's how it works. All right, we got a running back question from Hillman Cam. Andre Ellington versus Houston. 88% is going with Andre Ellington.
Boy.
Or Steve Jackson versus Seattle.
I don't think this is as slam dunk as the community thinks, or probably this guy to my right thinks. Seattle's run defense isn't the best in the world.
It didn't look good last week.
Not at all. And so Steven Jackson got a lot of touches, should have gotten in the end zone, but there was a penalty. It's close.
Just say it.
I'd probably go Ellington.
Yes.
Especially in a PPR league, I would go Ellington, obviously because of the upside. But I am not at all surprised if Steven Jackson's better. I think he might be a little bit safer just in case the Cardinals do something stupid with Mendenhall like they keep talking they're going to. But yes. All right, the next one, I cannot say this name at all, Dustin. Please read this name for me.
Bramwell Farron.
There you go. Wants to know, should we start Pierre Garçon at Minnesota or DeMarco Murray at New Orleans, who got like 2 carries last week, and 6% of the community is going with Pierre Garçon.
This one is kind of tricky, because it's either touches for the running back or high upside receiver. Murray, still just a little scary though for me. If the injury stuff wasn't there and there was more kind of guaranteed touches for him, I'd probably be leaning towards Murray, but I'm going Garçon and hoping for that big touchdown. Obviously with him, there's potential that every week. Decent matchup with Minnesota.
Decent. Great matchup.
Great matchup with Minnesota. There you go. And
thank you.
I like the upside. Those little screens they throw out to him, it's just amazing how fast he can get down the field. So
to me, I love Garçon in this. I think he's probably going to be inside. He's definitely going to be, I think, top 5 receiver for me this week as far as the rankings go. Archie Smith throws to him. I love targets. That's all he does. All right, let's get into them.
Sleepers, duds, and deep sleepers. My dud, I'm going with Boykin for for our
the Green Bay Packers.
Aaron Rodgers-less. I was looking for Aaron Rodgers.
Gotcha.
Aaron Rodgers-less Packers. Wallace in there did not impress many people. I mean, obviously having a week to prep and get ready, and he might look better this week. But, Boykin was a guy that people were getting really excited about. He has a decent matchup this week against Philly, but if you can find a way to get him on your bench, I'm not taking the risk. My sleeper's Danny Woodhead going up against Denver. I know Danny Woodhead's having a great year.
I gave him a little crap.
But here's what I'm saying, because in standard leagues, Woodhead isn't necessarily a guy that you put in your lineup every week.
True.
This week, I'm saying you do it. They're going to, more than likely be playing from behind. They're going to be throwing to Woodhead a lot. I think over 100 total yards with maybe a touchdown. Very plausible this week. And then my deep sleeper is going to be the Giants defense. As far as every week, there's those, 3 or 4 defenses that get picked up by a lot of teams. And I was kind of surprised that the Giants weren't one of those teams. They were down towards the bottom of kind of transaction trends as far as defenses that were getting picked up. They're at home against Oakland, coming off a bye. Oakland doesn't have McFadden more than likely. I like them this week. They looked good before the bye. I think having an extra week off. I like them this week.
All right, I got a little injury kind of clauses with all of mine. So the first one's Pierre Thomas. That's gonna be my dud, and that's it. He's going to be the dud, I feel, even if Sproles is out, because I think Sproles isn't going to play. And we were getting asked some questions about, Pierre Thomas's value skyrocketing because Sproles isn't there, and he's going to get 30 touches, it's going to be crazy. Sproles did not play last game, and it's not like Thomas got 35 touches in an insane amount, so he's going to be borderline top 20, but he's not a top 10 kind of guy. My sleeper, and don't kill me. Because if you own him, you hate him. But it's going to be Trent Richardson. And I actually got a sneaky feeling he's going to have a good run over the next 4 games. Because he played St. Louis once and Tennessee twice. And you saw what Chris Johnson and Zach Stacy did to those rush defenses last week. I think Trent is actually a great buy low. I think you can get him for nothing. And I think you have to do it this week before he plays the Rams. Because you can run all over the Rams. It's so tough to say that, though, about Trent. And then my deep sleeper is going to be Mike Brown versus the Tennessee Titans. Here's the thing with Mike Brown. You got a guy that's doing drugs. He's gone for the year in Blackman. Cecil Shorts is there. He's obviously going to get a lot of targets, but somebody else is going to have to, and that somebody else is Mike Brown. So in that garbage time, especially in a PPR league, I love the pickup of Mike Brown. 6, 7 catches I think is very plausible for him. I don't know if he's going to find the end zone. I don't think that is, but I think 6 catches, 70 yards, that is a very, very solid day in a PPR league, especially in a deeper league where you're looking for a flyer.
All right, let's get into Mike's picks. His duds, Matt Ryan going up against Seattle. Ryan's been terrible, obviously, with the injuries, with Julio and Roddy. Getting your koozies ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
Seattle's D, obviously, a little scary. So, and there's some decent pick-up and play options this week. Eli Manning against Oakland, Ben Roethlisberger against Buffalo. There's really no reason to take a gamble on Matt Ryan if you can pick up one of those other guys. Rashad Jennings is sleeper going up against the Giants. He looked pretty good last week. Obviously, this is if McFadden is going to miss the game, so you need to pay attention to that. But Jennings could be a decent flex play this week if you need a running back. And Kendall Wright going up against Jacksonville. He's quietly having a pretty good year. He's definitely better in there when Locker's playing. Going up against Jacksonville, they should be able to put some points on the board. So Kendall Wright, definitely not a bad wide receiver for you this week.
You're going to love Locker next year. You love him.
I do love
There's
Locker.
a part of me
I
that
love
just
Locker
loves him.
coming into this year.
So that's it. Go ahead and do a close. I'm going to try to hit it while we're doing it.
Nameco's throwing his koozies. You got any questions, post them in the forums. That one was terrible. That one wasn't bad. Dustin right here, Nameco right here. I'm Nameco. I crumple things.
Throw it. Can you hit it? Oh, terrible. Wah!